before we even get into the campaign stories, let's get into the argument that the three of us have on what constitutes being on time and what is rude.
Okay. First of all, let me just say that each of us, in our own unique way,
is insane.
Well, no, you two are definitely insane. I don't think I'm insane.
That's why you're insane.
I do acknowledge that I am chronologically challenged. That is absolutely true.
I would like to point out that I have learned how to deal with the both of you and your time issues, and you two have not learned how to deal with each other, because I know that if I want Adrian here at like 1:30 because we have to leave for a campaign event, I do not tell him be here at 1:30. I tell him to be here between 1 and 1:15. But
do you realize that I know you do that, so I make the adjustment.
Right, but now I've been telling you...
And show up at 1:45.
I've been telling you earlier and earlier and earlier. Like, at some point, it's going to be like, get here at 5 a.m. for like a 1:30
Which
leave.
I pretty much did today.
Right. So then, and I know if I want Alex to be here at 1:30, if we're leaving at 1:30, I have to tell him 1:45, because he's always exactly 15 minutes early.
Right.
And you're always somewhere between 15 minutes and a half an hour late.
Right.
We'll go 15 minutes late, which I don't understand, because you were in the Army.
Yeah.
Like that, I mean, I guess
I did
the
a lot of
Army's
push-ups.
I guess I guess the Army's a little bit different, maybe, but I always think that you should be 15 minutes. If you're told to be somewhere at 1 o'clock, that you were there 15 minutes prior. Now you have that 15-minute window in which you were just 5 minutes prior. You're not necessarily late, but you're not 15 minutes prior. So you want to try to make it there 15 minutes prior.
Well,
you totally don't subscribe to this.
And that's not true. I'm not always late. My target
only on the days
no. I may be late for the time that you gave me, but I've already done the calculations, and my objective is to be where I need to be at exactly that time, because I think what you do, showing up 15 minutes early, is actually rude.
Right. Now, and this is the argument that we had the other day. And yesterday you said, I'll be there at 8:30.
Right.
So, and I always...
And Alex said, no, come at 8.
But he says that every week, and that doesn't mean you do it.
I never do it. Right.
Every week he
Except
says,
for this week.
Every week he says, come at 8, and you come up at 8:30.
Right.
Yesterday you said, I'll be there at 8:30. Alex said, come at 8, and you were like, yeah, whatever. So I'm thinking,
yeah, you didn't acknowledge it.
You're going to be here at 8:30. At 7:45, 7:44, because my alarm was going to go off in 1 minute.
Right.
I hear knocking on the door, and so I opened the door, and I was asleep, and I opened the door, and I'm like, what? And then I go in, and you're like, I'm here for the show. And I was like, you're really early. And you're like, see, it is rude to be there 15 minutes early. But you were not 15 minutes early. You were 45 minutes early.
No, I was 15 minutes early for the time.
You didn't acknowledge the 8 o'clock as an acceptable time.
Right.
Well, I don't find it to be an acceptable time.
Well, but if you
then
didn't acknowledge
8:30
it, then you
was the
can't
time.
say that you're on
But
time.
you should have been prepared. If you said be here at 8 o'clock, that would infer that you would be prepared at 8 o'clock. And by your own rules, that means you should be expecting to be prepared at 7:45.
You did not agree
You
to
didn't
the
agree
8
to the
o'clock.
8
You
o'clock.
agreed
Doesn't matter.
to 8:30.
It doesn't matter.
No, it totally
by
matters.
Your standards,
You didn't agree to the 8
By your
o'clock.
standards,
Okay.
what I did was perfectly appropriate.
No.
Now, hang on a second.
No, I don't have a problem with it. I was glad you were here early.
I wasn't.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you were kind of cool.
You were like, oh, cool. Adrian's here. And I was
That means
like,
we'll get the mics up and running.
Yeah,
We'll get everything going
yeah.
good.
And
today we have a good show
I
going.
literally opened the door and was like, what?
Yeah, that's bad on your
Let me
part.
explain. Yeah, you were not happy with me.
I wasn't happy with anyone
Let me
at that
explain
point.
why I wanted to make that point, because on Wednesday, you guys actually came to my house, and we had a set time. I think it was, 2:30 or 1:30?
It was 2:15.
2:15, whatever.
And we got
said.
there at exactly 2 o'clock.
Right. I'm still getting dressed.
Oh, you were dressed. You didn't have shoes on.
I
Yeah,
didn't have
that's
my
true.
tie on. You know, I was still in the process of dressing.
Who puts their shoes and socks on last, by the way? But that's a whole
Most
different
people.
thing. Oh,
You're
really?
insane in the way you get dressed.
You put your shoes on before your pants?
Yeah, actually, when it comes to suits, I actually have a certain set way in which I
wait.
go about it.
You put your shoes on. I understand socks. Socks, sometimes I put my socks on before my pants, or my pants on then my socks. Depends on the socks. If they're like really high ones, you don't have,
Yeah.
But Your shoes?
Do you want me to give you the entire order of how it works?
Enlighten me,
It's
please.
insanity.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the
Well,
first
I'm
thing.
glad we could segue to Alex's insanity.
Yeah.
All right. So the first thing I do is I put my underwear on. You know what I'm saying? Then I put my undershirt. You know that you're going to wear your
Which
white
this
undershirt
all makes
on.
sense so far.
Yeah, I'm with you there. That's about the same order I do things in.
Then I put my socks on. Then I put my shoes on.
No. The shoes are just wrong. Why do you put your shoes on before you pants? Don't you like catch the heel on your pants?
No, never. Never. I never have a problem. You wear dress pants. When you wear dress pants, you don't have a problem like that. Like
No,
if I was
I-
wearing like here's the thing, I wouldn't do this if I was wearing like jeans. Only when I wear like a suit. That's the only time I do this is when I wear a suit.
Why? What's the purpose of it?
Well, one, I like to put the shoes on first because I like to put the pants on then, and then I don't have to go back down there. Like I don't have to go back down and.
This is how we have found out about
You're
the
completely
insanity.
insane.
Because
Well, I
what-
wasn't finished either.
Sometimes I put my dress clothes in with his when we travel, and then we'll just separate them out that morning, and and things. But it so that we don't have to take so many bags.
Oh God, please
I'm
don't
not
get
going
started
back
on
into the bag
bags.
store.
Please don't.
But
no,
so that we don't
no
have to take
bags.
so many bags because we take a lot of like campaign stuff or like big boxes of other things. I try to combine it into so the garment bag generally has my clothes and his clothes.
Actually, sometimes mine too.
And
Because if
sometimes
there's
yours
room in
too.
your garment bag, I'll say, "Oh, I don't need my bag here. I'll just throw it in yours."
So sometimes all three.
Oh, but let's
are-
not talk about the advantages that you have for the bags, huh?
So sometimes there's all three.
I'm not arguing that you were the bag master.
But I had at one point, like I ended up with your backpack somewhere. We were, and that was, I think it was when we were on our way to Tallahassee, and everybody's in a room, and then you had to call me, and you were like, "I need my shoes," and I'm like, "Well, I gave you your suit is in your room. I'll bring the backpack over in a minute because it only had his shoes in it." And he's
Well, wait
like,
a second.
I can't get dressed until you bring my shoes.
Yeah, he would have had to come over in his underwear because he has to put his shoes on before his pants. And I bet you, hang on a second, I bet you that your OCD, your monk-like insanity.
Home.
No, not that monk. The monk on TV. Don't point at me. Give me a demerit. I don't care.
That's 10 demerits.
You made me lose my train of thought.
Your OCD.
Yeah, I lost it.
No,
Oh.
so
I'll tell you where this came from, though. I know exactly where the origins of this came
Where
from.
the oranges are?
Yeah, where the oranges are too. I know where those are too. The origins of this actually happened in high school.
where you had to have shoes on before pants?
No, it's that when I would put on my, I had a uniform when I was in high school. When I had to put the uniform on, I put those on first. I remember doing it right from then, and it was the same way from then on. When I was in the Marine Corps, I did the same thing.
But he had to call me because and
What's
this
the
is
benefit, though? There's absolutely no benefit, and there's a lot of downside to doing that.
I do spend a little bit of time sometimes. Like if I'm by myself, like I spend some times in my underwear with the shoes on, and I can walk around. And then like I don't have to, because like I want to make sure that there's no like little dirty parts on my feet or anything like that. So it's a lot easier to do it that way. It's a little
What?
insane. I'll go with that. It's a little insane.
We've completely got off topic of the whole. We show up at your house and you didn't have shoes on.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
This is better.
I know. but-
Okay, so when you showed up 15 minutes early, and I wasn't prepared because I was expecting you 15 minutes later, and the way I operate is you do things at the time.
Right.
So I actually, when you guys came over, I said, you see, that is actually rude. So because now I got to come down, answer the door, and go back and find my shoes and stuff like that. It's not a big deal. It's you guys. You guys are like family, but still, under normal circumstances, showing up for a business appointment 15 minutes early, I think, is rude because the person is not prepared to see you. They may have another meeting or they had to finish up something and they needed up until that time. So I think that 15-minute buffer is inappropriate.
No, and I completely disagree with you on that because and I was in a position with several different companies where I did the hiring, and if someone showed up right on time, I would actually look at that person as someone maybe not to hire because it didn't seem like they were interested enough in the job to be there and be prepared.
Now,
See, if someone showed up 15 minutes earlier, if I was interviewing, I would actually count that negatively against them. I really would. So if you're out there in radio land and you're wondering what to do on a job interview, don't do either
you're
of those
screwed.
things.
no, I would show up 15 minutes early.
Well, yeah, but you're insane.
I
And we've
look
already
at it,
established
I
you're
look at it
insane.
I
as
would
they
say-
were here and prepared.
You tell them to put their shoes on first and then put their pants on and rip their
If
pants
they
in the
choose,
process.
but hold on, no. Again, that's a straw man because I've never ripped my pants in the process of doing that. You've just laid out a straw man.
But so-
I have had scenarios where I've had my shoes on, and I don't know how it happened, but I had my shoes on
You're
and
probably
tried
drunk.
to put a pair of pants on.
You were probably drunk.
The possibility exists, but I neither confirm nor deny that. But I always catch my shoes on my pants. So you're either going to like rip out the inseam, or you're going to, if it has a cuff on the bottom or something, you're going to rip that out.
Yeah, I mean, I have heels, so there's no way that I could
Right,
put
you're
my
definitely gonna
shoes
catch it
on
on
before my
something.
pants because that would catch. But so
Back to the reason of the story.
now
I like the shoe story better.
we went to a campaign event.
Two of 'em.
Two of them.
Oh, that was a long way around the barn.
Yeah.
So we had.
Are we
this-
done with the 15-minute buffer?
Well, I mean,
Which, by the way, we arrived at the campaign event exactly on time in both cases.
right, and we did, and that's fine.
No, we were 5 minutes late, but that's okay.
5 minutes late for the 15 minutes, or 5 minutes late of the actual time.
5 minutes late for the 15.
Oh, okay.
We got there
5
10 minutes before the actual event.
So that was 5 minutes late of the 15 before.
So we were actually 10 minutes early.
5 minutes late.